The Chevrolet C8 Stingray and the C8 Z06 are two of Chevrolet's most talked about cars, and even though one might be more popular than the other, both cars are what Chevrolet have used to bring themselves into what is a supercar range. The Stingray, for its own part, is arguably one of the decent options for a supercar that you might ever get, and talks of the Z06 seem to have gotten the car that seemed to mark a new beginning for Chevrolet in this range to fall short in popularity. The Z06 is of course not a fluke, as it has the potential to be one of the best cars ever to be released by Chevrolet, and with all early indication, it could just be really great and unmatched by any other car in its price range, though it would still fall behind when it is placed side by side with top entries from the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche. Well, today is not about overly praising the Z06, even though it does deserve so much praise. Instead, we'll be looking at some of the key reasons why you should rather buy the Stingray over the Z06. Stay tuned! If you're new to the channel, well, this is lavish luxury, and if you've not already taken the action, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get you going with some of the best luxury and finance content that you can think of. Now, let's head back to what we have for you today. At this point, you're probably wondering what could actually make the Stingray the better option, right? I mean, the Z06 is in the top range, and if you're swooping for anything, especially from Chevrolet, then it just has to be the Z06. However, things are not always like that, and perhaps a closer look at some certain points will make you rethink your decision and probably settle for the Stingray, which is also a quality product for a good price point. While this might feel like a straight-up comparison between the two options, this video is just there to help you weigh your options and truly see which is which, with some certain key areas to be the subject of this video. Both cars are great, and with both of them even coming up for the 2023 model year, it might leave many enthusiasts with a choice, especially those who already have the C8 and might be considering going higher. As of now, production for the 2023 C8 Stingray has begun, with a release date expected to be early next year. However, the Z06 is yet to even have an official price release, not to mention the production date. If you're curious to find out more details on these and more on the Stingray and the Z06, do check out the channel after this video. As you must have seen in this title, this video is a two-part series, and after this one, you should look out for part 2. Without talking too much already, let's just head right into what these reasons are. Number 1. Price. We know you're about to say that this is pretty obvious, but yeah, it's still worth mentioning. The C8 Corvette has always had a starting price of around $60,000 since its release, and even though the price could eventually be really high because of the options you might want to take on the car, it still represents a decent starting price point for the car. However, the C8 Z06 still has no official price yet, though many people believe the price will start around $90,000, which is an added $30,000 from the Stingray. While these might be prices that will fall under the manufacturer's suggested retail price, the price could even go beyond that by a mile. In the past, there have been several issues with prices for the Corvettes, and the trend is not expected to stop, especially with the C8 still selling at more than 15% over MSRP. If this means anything, it is surely that, provided that you're getting the car with several options and with this price increase put into consideration, the price for the Z06 could go well above the $150,000 mark, and even possibly moving close to the $200,000. While the Z06 would still be a great car to buy, even at that price, the Stingray would be a better option as you'd save a lot of cash. Number 2. Similar exterior look. If you're very particular about how your car looks, and it's probably why you'd be going for the C8 Z06, then you'd definitely find this interesting. While from a price point of view you'd expect that both cars would look much different, however, the case is not as expected. In fact, you'd be surprised at how much they look alike when placed side by side. However, despite this, there are only a few differences. Starting from the front, the C8 Z06 comes with a new lower front fascia that includes larger vents that will help to cool the engine, brakes, and transaxle. The car is also about 3.6 inches wider and has wider rubber too. There is also a unique front splitter that comes with the car. When you look at the wheels too, even though they look quite alike, the Z06 has newer designs, and at the rear too. The Z06 lower rear fascia is also quite different. Unlike in the Stingray though, the Z06 doesn't have the Corvette name written at the back, and aside from a wider design in some of the areas of the back, the cars look too similar. Whether this means anything to you or not, it's just a simple way to show you that the Stingray is not far apart from the Z06 as much as it looks. Number 3. Dealership issues. The 2023 models are not the first that will see issues with dealerships come up, and well, if you're looking to order for the Z06, you might be forced into having to make a decision. While production for the car has not started, and even Chevrolet has not released any official information on what the price would be, some dealerships have started taking up the price levels to really insane levels. With the price for the Z06 rumored to be about $90,000, some dealers believe this is too small, and one in Florida has, interestingly, been found to tag the price at $100,000 over MSRP. So by the rumors of $90,000 MSRP making the rounds, you can expect to spend around $190,000 if you'll be purchasing from such a dealer. While this might also be quite early, it would be interesting to see what prices other dealers will sell the cars for, though many are expected to sell it way beyond the MSRP too. With this in mind, you might just be paying over $200,000 for the Z06, and even though it can be argued that the car does represent a car of such value, it still looks way off. To add to this, a couple of dealerships have even started rejecting old orders, forcing potential buyers to make a decision as to whether they'd pay up more or stick to getting something else, like the Stingray. Number 4. Long waiting time. Even though the Z06 is not out yet, news has been circulating that if you should order for the car, there's a real possibility that you'll not get the car until 3 or 4 years from now. According to several reports, this is based on the number of allocations that each dealership will get for the Z06. Chances are that if you place an order for your car now, you might not see the car for almost 2 years, depending on when you place the order. If you place it early enough, well then you just might be in luck and get it in a year or two. However, regardless of whether it is just a year or two, this is a pretty long time to wait for a car you've ordered. Contrary to this, it is expected that with the Stingray, this will not be the problem, with potential buyers being able to get access to their orders in just a duration of between 6 to 8 months. Should the 3 to 4 years of waiting be a problem for you, then moving for the Stingray definitely makes the better option. Number 5. Z06 is more of a track car, and if it's not your dream car, the Stingray is probably what you need. Unless you've got it at the top of your bucket list to drive the 2023 C8 Z06, the Stingray is a much simpler option. And even though there are differences in performance and the engine features, the Stingray still does a good job and is a perfect road car option if you would be interested in the car. With it, you'll also be saving almost the same amount to buy another Stingray. And well, that gets interesting. As you must have seen, the Stingray is still a cool option. And even though the Z06 might be in a league of its own, it's only really for you if you're practically obsessed about driving something that looks like a Ferrari or other top options. Well, that's definitely not all that we've got for you, and you definitely don't want to miss part 2. Meanwhile, which of these options so far do you think can be the game changer for potential buyers of the Z06 to instead move for the Stingray? Kindly respond in the comments section. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on the notification bell button. See you in the next video.